good morning, everybody. It's December 1st, 2021. I am on my way to a little town from outside of where I stay at to check my mail because, I don't have my mailbox where my house is at. Privacy reasons. But anyway, I hurt my back. Well, I hurt my back while working at a job to build up my funds for my bug out adventures. Okay. Anyhow, I already had back problems, but they weren't, too bad. But this just made it worse. I'm pretty much thinking I re-injured an old back injury from when I had gotten hit by a drunk driver when I was younger. And subsequently, of course, there's osteoarthritis, there's a degenerative disc disease, and there's some herniated disc back there, in my lower lumbar. I did go see the doctor. He did not suggest surgery because of where it's at and the severity of the arthritis in my hips and around where that injury, had occurred. Actually, it occurred in my neck and my lower back when I was younger. Anyhow, I got a little upset with the clinic and stuff because, I don't have any insurance. Now I've lost my job and I'm my own sole supporter. So it kind of rearranged everything for me as far as priorities and stuff go and things that I need to do to take care of myself and continue to be self-sufficient and as independent as I possibly can be from the beast machine. And so anyway, I went to the doctor. They didn't want to see me because I didn't have the copay, which I shouldn't have a copay anyway because it was a free reduced clinic. Not working, no income, blah, 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 blah. And they weren't going to see me. They told me that they couldn't see me. So I went to go leave, which I was mad and I was pissed, actually. I've been working pretty much since I was 13 years old. I've been on my own since I was 13 years old. Literally on my own since I was 13 years old. And so I got mad and was, giving them a piece of my mind, and, the way that I do. And anyhow, so I'm standing out there trying to get some paperwork done so I can get seen for reduced or free services, Well, the lady from the receptionist from the doctor's office came out there to the financial area and was like, we can help you. We'll just go ahead and bill you for this. I said, well, that's just wonderful. That's just, just wonderful. I'm glad that you'll be able to bill me for these services. So I get in there to the doctor and he tells me that, of course, he doesn't recommend any surgery. But however, because I don't have ability to pay, nor do I have any type of insurance, including government insurance, that he's not going to be able to do anything for me. But he does suggest that I need an MRI to get more pinpointed. He does suggest that I need physical therapy so I can continue my mobility and, not let it get any worse than what it is. I agreed with that. That's great. And I told him, I said, look, I've got these prescriptions that I can't even get filled, from when I went to the ER like 4 or 5 days ago when I could just barely freaking move. And no narcotics, okay? They're not narcotics. They're steroids and like an Aleve, a prescribed Aleve, and what do they call that? A relaxer for muscle spasms, because my back it's spazzing right now with me driving. I'm constantly in pain. I hold about a 4 or 5 level pain at all times. Anyhow, and I was like, well, can you at least rewrite these prescriptions so I can go to the pharmacy that's here in the clinic, and get them for a reduced rate, $3-4, whatever. And he's like, no, I can't rewrite the prescriptions. Well, Walmart, they want like $60 for these prescriptions. I don't know why. There's no narcotics in there. There's no antibiotics in there. I mean, it's just, what do you call them? Some steroids and Aleve and, the muscle spasm pills. I don't know why they want that much. Anyway, it's stupid to me. Anyhow, so he couldn't do that. So what I've gone and done is I've applied for services through the state. I did find out, because I'm not pregnant. There ain't no way I'm gonna be pregnant. I'm not disabled by a doctor or by the Social Security Administration, and I am not caring for a child under the age of 18, so I don't qualify for state Medicaid. Well, that puts me right back into the point to where I was at. No insurance, can't be seen unless I have cash. No cash because I can't get a job, because I can't stand up long enough to pay attention, without being in excruciating pain, and even then I can't even stand up straight. So I'm just right back where I'm started. So I applied for, food stamps, which is something that I've used them in the past when my children were younger and when I was raising my granddaughter, because it was just me raising her on a very limited income anyway. But in my mind, I don't need them. But in all actuality, I do need them, because I can't afford to pay cash, which I had been doing over the last several years. Cash for food. And, which it didn't really bother me, I was getting my preps and getting my gear together, and I was working, no problem, So anyhow, I applied for assistance on that, and by the grace of God, I was accepted for food stamps. Not in my agenda whatsoever, because I don't like the man, having control over how I feed myself. But because I don't have anybody that can support me in my needs, that includes feeding me, housing me, paying for my cell phone bill, paying for my truck, my fuel, my truck insurance, my rent, my utilities. I figure at least I'll be able to eat by any means necessary. I mean, that's better than the alternative, which is criminal, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to be a marauder, and I don't want to be anything like that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm at the point now to where I'm getting backed into a corner, so I've got to start thinking about what I can and can't do as far as that's concerned, and maintain my ability where it's at, or try and help it somewhat, so I can load my gear up and stuff. Well, today being the 1st, of course, I am not going to be able to pay my rent. I ain't got it. It is what it is. And I talked to my landlord, and I said, look, I understand, you want to put me out or whatever. That's understandable. I said, I got a tent and stuff. I said, I'll throw my tent up and build me a fire, and the only thing I'm going to have to worry about is keeping firewood, because, it's getting cold out and stuff like that. And she said, well, not to worry about it. She wasn't going to put me out just for me to take care of my business. Well, it's really hard, because this is the dilemma. I know the law, okay? Don't get me wrong. I know the law. I know what my rights are. So I asked her, I've been bugging her for 2 months now to give me a copy of my lease, but she's supposed to get it to me the next day, but she did not. Anyhow, I told her, I said, I need some type of paperwork or something, showing that I'm going to be delinquent, or I'm delinquent, which I'm not delinquent until today on my rent, so I can get some type of help from the churches, stuff like that, right? She comes back at me, she said, look, I ain't talking about putting you out, but I don't do that. And I said, what do you mean what you don't do? She said, well, I don't go through the churches. She said, I'm just ain't going to put you out. And I said, well, I got the money for the utilities, because the utilities is included in the place that I stay in. I said, I've got that money. I got that cash. And I said, you need to come get it before I spend it. I was just being honest with her, And, I mean, do I pay for the utilities and stuff that I've incurred already? Or do I take this money and go and buy my medications? Well, I don't like doing people like that. If I owe them money, I try my very best to pay them back what I can, when I can, how I can, and I don't forget that at all. And I owe her money for utilities that I've used. That's just the God's honest truth about it, regardless of anything else. I don't want to owe her more than what I already owe her. So, anyway, that's why I'm headed over here to check this mailbox, because I think my paperwork from the Health and Human Services has came in for my food stamps, and which would be a good thing. That's less than I have to spend cash on, But what I'm really asking is, I need prayers. I need prayers for God to make a way that is a righteous way. Like I said, I don't want to be a marauder. In this area where I'm at, they don't allow panhandling or, anything like that. I mean, because I've thought about that stuff. I ain't too proud to, go out and ask, beg. I ain't too proud at all. I owe this woman this money, and I've got some medical things that need to be done, and all that kind of stuff. And, if there's any suggestions now, I'll consider all suggestions, but what I do know is the system, and I've already started getting into the system. The other thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to apply for Social Security disability, and if they accept me, they accept me. If they don't, they don't. It's just one of those things. I'm extremely caution, red flag, 100% asking the government for any type of help whatsoever. This is really going far out there for me, and I mean, so I got to think about my pride, which stops me from asking for help for a lot of times. But that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try with the government first, see how that goes. I'm going to, rest. I've been resting for almost 3.5 weeks now. I haven't worked in almost 3.5. Well, it's been closer to 4 weeks, actually, to tell you the truth, than 3.5 weeks. I think Friday will be 4 weeks that I have not worked, and everything that I've had as far as cash is concerned is the money that I had saved up, and granted, I've done I've had to buy food, things like that with cash. And now it's not getting bought anymore, because I went to a food bank and they helped me with some food. They gave me 2 weeks worth of food, which I was very grateful. And I mean, I'm like, to me it was a lot of food, for a food bank. Of course, I don't eat meat. I will, but I don't usually. I like deer. I like deer burgers on the grill. But there's some people that stay around me that's doing a little bit worse than I am. And so I cooked up that meat and I fed them. I'm not going to eat it. I don't have a refrigerator. That's one reason why the house was so cheap, is it don't have a refrigerator, it don't have heat, it don't have air conditioning. It's just a shell. It's got electric and water, and I pay that. And but it's in her name, which is fine with me. I'm not nitpicking the small stuff, But I just need some suggestions. Really, I need prayers before I need suggestions. So just pray for me. Pray that God guides me and shows me the way that is righteous and in His name. And we'll just go from there. But I'll keep y'all updated. But right now, I can't bend over to start no fire, squat down, all that kind of stuff. That's just not happening. I mean, it's killing me to sit in this position right here that I'm in. And I still got another 20 miles to go till I get to my mailbox. But anyhow, just pray for me, and I'll keep y'all informed. Okay, keep on prepping.